Welcome to the Automotive Partner Cloud panel. We got a great panel going. We actually had one person who could not make it because of flight issues, but given the batting average here, we're doing pretty well, right? So my name is Amit. I'm going to be facilitating this panel. This is for partners. This is for dealers. This is for OEMs. If you guys are here, just talk a little bit about our open ecosystem that Tekion is trying to build here. We made some good progress. But let's hear it from our partners and also from our Chief Technology Officer, Binu Matthews. Why don't we start with a quick round of introductions? Maybe can you start, Binu, and then we'll go.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Binu Matthew. I am the Chief Technology Officer at Tekion, responsible for our products and our engineering teams.
Hi, I'm Emily Jordan. I work at Lyft, the rideshare company. I've been here about 6 years, so I've been able to see our product grow from its infancy. I manage our automotive strategy team.
Hi, I'm Seth Parker. I'm head of product at Call Review, Call Analytics Solution, expanding more into cloud telephony as well as AI training. So excited to be here, talk about partnerships.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you guys here, especially because you made it with everything going on. Here's my first question, maybe Binu to you, right? You have joined us, Tekion, recently in the last year or so, and you were from outside the automotive software world, right? So tell us a little bit about how things work outside with these types of platforms, like a DMS type platform, or you might say ERP or CRM outside of automotive, when it comes to integrations, playing well together with different partners, and how is that been versus coming to Tekion relative to where we are in terms of maturity and where you want to take the platform going. So please go ahead.
One of the things that's been fascinating about the automotive industry as I came into it is the sheer number of integrations that actually exist to keep the ecosystem going. My experience has been in enterprise software development, ERPs, and so on. And what you see there is typically a lot of integrations that exist, but not always necessarily easy to use and deploy. There's often a lot of system integrators that are involved in those things. And in that sense, I think with Tekion and our Automotive Partner Cloud, we're really moving the needle forward in building a set of APIs that are very easy for our partners to use. The process, to be essentially test, deploy, scale these things, and then I think very importantly, make it easy for our customers, our dealer partners, to essentially deploy these solutions, activate it themselves, manage it themselves. So I think in terms of how the ecosystem is moving and the investment we're putting into it, we're very committed to making sure that we have an open and easy to use platform.
Great, thank you for that. So now let's switch it up a little bit. Now let's hear from both of our partners here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your solution, how it is integrating with Tekion, and how is it working with dealers' efficiency or experience-wise? So, Emily, why don't we start with you?
Sure. So, as I mentioned, I work at Lyft, and we have a courtesy ride program that we work directly with dealerships and, of course, Tekion, who's a wonderful partner of ours. The goal here is to get customers efficiently from the dealership when they're getting their car serviced home or to the office or wherever they need to go as quickly as possible. We know that people don't love sitting in a waiting room. We know that a shuttle and that kind of has a lot of limitations. So in order to avoid that, the goal here is to create a really seamless user experience. So we partner with our Tekion to be able to integrate and allow them to utilize our concierge API, which means that a service manager, someone working at a dealership, can call a ride on behalf of a customer and very quickly get them in and out of the dealership. This is a wonderful customer experience, and it boosts a lot of CSI scores, which we know our dealerships love. It also creates a lot of great efficiencies. Typically, service managers would have to call cars or call other rides for customers on their behalf. It took up a lot of time. It was really clunky. You would do it on your cell phone. And this way, there's a really easy way now for service managers to be able to go into the DMS, seamlessly order a ride off of a repair order, and get people where they're going pretty quickly.
Awesome, that sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, how about your side, Seth?
Yeah, absolutely. So call review probably is known by folks in the industry primarily for our call analytics and call intelligence that we provide. Really, our partnership with Tekion allows us to provide all your call data into the CRM. So we're able to push your call records, notes, the summaries of the call, the metadata about that call into the CRM to provide more complete and holistic customer information, right? Trying to operate, and service your customers without visibility to what's happening on the phone is a big miss. So having that integration is really powerful. Really helps bring clarity to what today is kind of a black box with call information. Additionally, we have the ability to connect our click-to-call into Tekion CRM directly, which allows all the outbound activity that your agents are doing outbound calls to customers to be tracked and recorded and to provide insights on those as well. So really that holistic picture of what's happening on your calls with this partnership with Tekion, it really helps bring that together in a really seamless and unified way for dealers.
Yeah, no, that sounds, I mean, I know we'll talk a little bit more about it, but this data is getting more and more critical, right? To have it all in the same place to analyze it. So
Absolutely.
we'll discuss this in a little bit. So thank you for that. Now, let's talk a little bit about, we talked about Tekion, but before we talk about the future, kind of, and maybe from a partner's perspective, tell us about, your experiences in general with CRM and DMS companies and providers in our industry. What has been working, what has not been working? What do you expect?
Yeah, so I think today we see still, there's some fragmentation, right? There's siloization of data. You have valuable data in these disparate systems that you've got that you're paying for, but you're not necessarily always able to get that data to play together, to connect, to provide you that holistic picture, that end-to-end picture of what's happening with your customer. And, a lot of times we're seeing situations where data may not be real time. You're kind of driving it from the rear view mirror, so to speak. You're looking at data that maybe is hours or days old, which is not as effective as it can be at helping you to take advantage of those customers and not letting them go to the next competitor down the street, right?
Sure.
We see what is working about the Tekion partnership is that we're really building that seamless integration to bring this data together. Also, just the flexibility and the scalability of the partnership with Tekion and the system you guys have built is really awesome because it means it's not just what integrations we have today. It's not just how things work today with technology. It's able to scale into the future, able to evolve with dealers as they change the way they work and they change the way that they want to interact with their customers. We're also seeing a lot of benefit from being able to, with these integrations, help eliminate what historically could be kind of manual processes, right? Where you got to rely on sales teams to go in, enter data, log a phone call, make notes about it. With this kind of integration, you're able to push this data in and seamlessly integrate it, creating more efficiencies and letting your staff focus on the higher value activities that they should be focused on versus keeping your CRM up to date.
Well, I want everyone to know that I did not give Seth this script about Tekion. In fact, we met for the first time like 2 hours ago.
Very true.
So, yeah. Emily, what about you?
Yeah, so when we launched this business about 7 years ago, working with a DMS provider was extremely important to our growth. We were very new to the space, but we knew that there was a real sense of need and urgency from dealerships to be able to provide rideshare and a way to get people to and from where they needed to go. So we really grew on the backs of a lot of these partners, and working with Tekion almost since your inception, I think back in 2021, we've found a really solid partner with what we think is a fantastic interface. I think the user interface is really sleek. We've heard that from our customers. Again, nobody's paying me to say this here, but it's a wonderful interface, and it's just brought a new level of, I think what our customers really want to see and what they're asking for. We also, as a company, build customer first. We're customer obsessed. It's one of our biggest values. And it's very clear from the way that you guys built your system that you feel the same way. It's really built with the customer, the dealership in mind. And, we love that about it. I think the other really important thing, and something that Tekion has really taken to the next level is the ability to onboard customers alongside partners. That's crucial to our business and making sure that we thrive and we're able to create our own relationships with dealerships. So when you guys onboard new customers, you really bring us into the conversation and allow us to showcase what we do best. And it also allows us to speak together holistically about the integration, which we love.
Great. No, that's good to hear. I would say I'm going to go off the script here a little bit. In both the cases, I would say in the rideshare case as well as the call tracking analytics AI case, we also have had an opportunity to have dialogues with some of your competitors. And I will be honest with you, this is not just about how Tekion looks at integration, it is also how you guys look at the ecosystem and integration. And we have found you guys to be more concerned about the customer, which is the dealer and their consumers, than some of the others, right? So we appreciate that. It's a two-way system. So, which I think brings me to my next question, and maybe this is for you, Binu. Kind of, okay, so making it easier to integrate, making more APIs, you said that already. But if you think about the next kind of 3 to 5 years, marketplace, I don't know, what are the things, from a product and technology perspective, and how do you look at the ecosystem? Because even if Tekion wanted to do everything, I know our strategy is to enable dealers' choice. So tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, I think continuing to keep the theme of having a completely open system, we intend to make sure that we have APIs for all significant portions of the Tekion functionality available, and also different levels of APIs. So we have standard APIs that are for regular data, but also things like historical feeds, high performance APIs for certain cases. To specifically answer your question, Amit, I think the key here is that we're looking at not just building a set of APIs, but really building an ecosystem. And so when you're talking about an ecosystem, then it's the collection of what interfaces do you have, the marketplace, if you will. And then also we know that some of these may require integrations beyond just data interchanges. How do we make sure that the UIs can integrate more seamlessly? Especially when you look at the next 3 to 5 years. The world of user interfaces is going to change dramatically with agents coming in, and I can certainly see a scenario where I haven't defined it yet, but Emily, in your case, for example, it might be that someone just wants to call in and say, I want to have a ride scheduled, and the agent should be able to schedule it, and then your system and our system should be able to integrate, and I'm sure similar things, voice tracking and so on, that will come up. So I do see a lot of that coming up in place. How do we enable the next generation interfaces, especially with the AI agents coming into play?
Now, we did talk about, and if we don't have a full strategy yet, it's okay to punt this question. But in prior experiences, have you seen marketplaces working, and what could be a marketplace opportunity for Tekion and partners such as Lyft and Call Review?
Yeah, I think marketplaces do work fairly well. I mean, if you look at, again, companies like Microsoft and Salesforce and so on, that has worked actually quite well. I think the key here is to make it as easy as possible for people to use it. If it is easy to use and you can get most of what you need to get done without having to go involve, people or, setting that up manually, it will take off. It's friction that you really need to eliminate.
Sure.
And that's what we're focused on.
Okay, so now we're gonna try to go a little bit more further beyond, not just from Tekion's point of view, and not just what we are doing today. You guys have been in the auto business for a while, right? Tell us a little bit. Forget about Tekion, other DMSs, CRM, yeah, whatever. Like, where do you see it going, and how is it more important for it to be like a okay one system like Tekion? Is it more like an ecosystem? Let me not put words in your mouth. If this is your opportunity to shine about what do you think about
Yeah.
automotive?
I think, no discussion about the future in 2025 would be complete without talking about AI. It's kind of the elephant in the room. Definitely agree that agentic capabilities are coming fast. What's interesting about that is as multiple software systems start to push to integrate AI deeper into how they work, the ability to connect those systems is actually more and more and more critical.
Absolutely.
Because what you end up risking is, well, I've got an agent over here doing something that doesn't know that this agent is doing something else. That's actually a worse situation than not having any AI at all. So the ability to connect and integrate and collaborate across these systems that are AI enabled, I think is actually really the foundation of what makes these connected solutions viable and possible going forward. And I think, the leadership from Tekion, again, not a paid endorsement, but the leadership you guys are giving around the ecosystem you're creating and the fact that you're looking for collaboration from partners like Call Review, like Lyft, that's really a key part of this. Anybody can build an integration hub, but the fact that you guys are looking for partnership in a real way and looking for input from partners helps ensure that we're working together and able to grow and evolve in the future together.
Great. Thanks. What about you, Emily?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely echo what Seth.
You got to beat Seth here, okay?
Oh no. I mean, everything he's saying, obviously AI is going to be really important in the years to come, and it's happening right now. But I think I'd totally double down on what I said before about the customer experience. It's always been really crucial to the business, but it's going to be ever more crucial in the years to come. We think about the technology, we think about the integrations, all that is extremely important. But at the end of the day, the reason there's a choice, and the reason people are choosing you is because of what you think about the customer. And I think, on our side of the house, while we already integrate with so many dealerships and DMSs in terms of getting people to and from service centers, we're already hearing about the next level of what people want to be doing in terms of integration with us. Why not send someone a car when they want to go buy a car, right? We're only focused on the service center side of the house, but there's a white glove experience that is customer obsession around getting people to the dealership to buy a car. And we haven't even scratched the surface there yet. So yeah, there's so much more I could go into here, but I think that, everything Seth said makes a ton of sense. And I agree that wanting to find partners that really want to be collaborative with you is extremely important, and opening up those conversations early and often is huge.
I'm not sure. Maybe I just don't know. Does Lyft support parts delivery or no?
We don't.
You don't. Okay.
Right now. But we have a lot of third-party partners that we work with. So yeah, more to come on that.
Okay. Think about that as a online feature request right here.
We've heard it.
Yep.
We know.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. Awesome. Great. So last question here, right? Great. We have our CTO. We have some great partners. What are things? And we actually in the audience we also have our partner team here as well. What do you think? Not just technologically, but of course that is a big one. But in general, Tekion can do better to actually support your goals and of course our joint dealer goals.
I think just continuing the collaboration that we've had and have started, and keeping those lines of communication open. I think making sure that we're continuing to make those collaborative decisions about things at an art and technical architecture level and things that affect both of our systems. I think if we continue to double down on those values and those approaches we've taken, I really think that that's going to pay huge dividends. So I don't know that I have a huge amount of things to change. It's really more continue.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Don't worry, I'll be asking Binu what he wants to change, right? Emily, what do you think for Lyft?
I think with any third-party integration and anything you're doing in that capacity, it's really important to brainstorm and constantly collaborate to see what the future holds. All the things, the communication, the collaboration, but also opening up a space for us to talk not just about the business at hand, but about what the future could bring and how we can partner effectively to make that future change happen. There's a lot that we can do even in the warranty space, which is such a big part of coverage for these rides. It's working with OEMs, it's working with Tekion and triangulating a system where we all say, okay, how can we effectively make this process more seamless and efficient? We have a few ideas like that. And I think being able to say, let's create a partnership beyond where we stand today, where we can actually effectively speak about what the future holds and how we can better your product, better our product together.
Great. And Binu, what's your self-scoring here?
Yeah, no, I think that's actually a great setup for what I was going to say. Right now, if I look at our integration matrix, we have a bunch of standard APIs, but we still have a number of custom APIs because we really haven't had a choice. And I think building on what you said, Emily, joint road mapping. I think for the industry as a whole, if we can come up with additional APIs that are actually not just Tekion specific, but maybe more industry standard. I think the more we can get those kinds of standards established, the more that we can move some of our custom things into that matrix, and then look at again a roadmap plan.
Yep.
I think that will help considerably. That's what I'd like to do.
All right, great. I know this was short and sweet. This is great. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We do have for those of you who are partners here, we do have a couple of sessions tomorrow, which is a closed door session on some of the roadmaps and things like that that Binu is talking about. You can connect with your partner integration team at that point if you'd like to attend. But again, thanks for coming.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you. Thank you so much.